Now that we know how to compile and execute a Java program, let's have a quick look at the syntax of Java source code. As a quick reminder, syntax determines when a statement is well formed, in this case, when a source code file is well formed, and semantics refers to the meaning of a statement. For example, my name is Patrick is syntactically correct, but Patrick, my name is not syntactically correct, although the intended semantics might be completely identical. Java source code syntax can be thought of as a sequence of statements. A statement is some command that tells the computer to take some action, and it has to end in a semicolon. Everything that is after a double slash is considered a comment, and that means the compiler will completely ignore it. And so is everything that's in between a slash asterisk and asterisk slash. So those are multi-line comments. They would be completely ignored by the compiler. Finally, you can group multiple statements into a block by surrounding them by curly brackets. And blocks can be nested, and a single block will act as a single statement in more complicated language constructs. Here's a quick example. So as we know now, the first 5 lines are a comment, and they will be ignored by the compiler, and so is line 8. What's left to see for the compiler is line 6, 9, 10, 11, 12. What are public class, public static, void, etc.? Let's not worry about these too much for now, and just consider them as keywords. And a keyword is simply a word that has a specific meaning to the compiler, and you cannot use it for any other purpose. For example, for variable names. Here's a list of a few keywords. There are a few more. Those are out of reach for variable names. Now, what is hello world and main here? Well, these are identifiers. They are names. They are variable names. In the first case, in line 6, is the beginning of a class definition. So all line 6 all the way down to line 12 are what's called a class definition. It's a block that starts with this curly bracket here, ends with this curly bracket here, and it defines a class by the name of hello world. And similarly, main is the name of a method that is some actionable member of this class. A quick word on class definitions versus file names. The name of the class that you're defining also should determine the name of the file that you're writing this piece of source code in. So this means in this specific case we have a class that's defined. It's called hello world, and that means the source code file that this should live in is hello world.java. The main method is a special method that is the entry point when the Java virtual machine starts executing this program. So what happens when you are starting a program, the virtual machine will look for a main method, and if it finds one, it will start executing this method. The presence of a main method makes the class a so-called application class. That just means that there is a main method that can be executed. Finally, a word on capitalization. Java is case sensitive. So this means that main with a small m is different from main with a capital M. Indentation, however, carries no meaning. You can equivalently look at the hello world program in one line. It looks like this. It's pretty much unreadable, but to the compiler it is exactly the same, and it will behave exactly the same. Now, source code should be human readable. That's the whole point of it. Otherwise we could directly manipulate bytecode that is executable by the computer. And since it should be human readable, we should follow a bunch of conventions that help us humans understand it quickly and better. So the first such convention is identifier names should use camel case, meaning If they are consisting of several words directly one after one another, then the first letter of each new word is capital, and we don't have any spaces in between. The names of classes are by convention capitalized, and the names of methods and variable names start in small letters. Although the compiler doesn't care, it's very good practice to indent your code, meaning that if you have nested blocks or methods within classes, it is good practice to add a few spaces before them in order to make it more readable for us humans. And finally, don't forget to add comments to explain what your code does. It really helps people to understand your code more quickly, even yourself later on.